La parola illinearità non esisteva. Quando l'ho scritta per la prima volta su Google nel 2022 non aveva risultati. Ho sempre cercato di finire sulla retta via, di una carriera in lineare ascesa e di una vita diritta, ma non ce l'ho mai fatta. Finché un giorno mi sono resa conto che la mia vita è un capolavoro di illinearità e così l'ho inventata. Sono Alice Farella Monti e nella vita, come Alice nel Paese delle Meraviglie, sono e faccio molte cose. Che cosa voglio fare da grande? Ancora non lo so. Quello che so è che la vita, anche per chi lo nega, è un elettrocardiogramma di deviazioni, salti, baratri e apici. Destini Lineari è un podcast intriso di storie straordinarie, fatte di linee spezzate e di scelte coraggiose. I fatti e i riferimenti utilizzati sono citati nella sinossi.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Destini Lineari, the Linear Destinies. And today we're here with Didi. Hi.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone. Somebody's calling you, by the way.
It's not the time.
Okay, I completely ignore. So, welcome Didi. I don't know if this interview is gonna become a video or not, because we are at the very beginning, but if somebody has the chance to look at this video, for sure knows that there is a very special relationship between me and you. So, to tell everybody, this is not going to be an impartial interview for sure. So it cannot be.
But we didn't prepare it.
Absolutely, exactly. This is what makes it truly unique. By the way, we already recorded this interview some time ago, and my microphone was not working, so we're doing it again. And I think that the moment of our life we're making this interview happening, it's really particular. And so I'm very happy. So Didi, I start with you by asking what I ask everybody as a first question, then the other are not the same. And what is for you illinearity?
Linearity is the waves, is being able to surf the waves.
In life in general.
In life, with your relationships, it's like not necessarily having it clear.
Okay.
I was surrounded by a lot of people who had it very clear where to go and what to do. And for me, it was always like floating, riding the situation.
Cool. I need to unlock your phone because I have my questions here. Okay. Cool. So let's start from you as a kid. Where were you born, and how did you decide to? What were your first interests at school, and what was really motivating you or getting you enthusiastic about?
Allora, I was born and raised in Milan, and I was a very explorative kid. This is what my parents always tell me. Mm-hmm. I would always go anywhere except where I was supposed to be. And my favorite subject has always been mathematics since I'm a little child. And to be honest, I had a classmate. We were actually doing competition or who would finish the homework fast. Yeah, the exam faster. So like technically, I've always been kind of like inspired by everything that is logical because I couldn't find a lot of logic in my own mind. So like putting some rules on my crazy bomb that is inside my brain. And as a kid, I think what I missed the most was nature. That's why today is so important to me. I was born and raised in a big city with a lot of cars and cement. And that's why now I prioritize nature whenever I can.
Okay. And to me, like the adventurous part of you, well, I only recently got to know that you studied mathematics, because to me was not really logic, okay? But I understand that this is part of the game. So the fact that what you are today, which is so many things, not just what you do is professionally, but what you are today is like some of different perspective, and probably mathematics was a way for you to, as you said, to put some order in things that we're doing, but according to your logic. Okay, so I think you are a person that is always, in charge of her own life. You take a lot of responsibility for what you do at work and your personal relationship. So when you were a kid and you were so passionate about mathematics and nature, what was your dream to become when you were grown up?
Allora, my biggest dream has always been to be a secret agent.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that.
What? No, but to
No,
me,
but I'll tell you why. Like, I saw this series with my father. I used to see this series with these people, like the secret agent. She would dress in different ways, and she would always have different hair and speaking different languages, always be around the world. I was like, this is my dream life, you know? Being
Okay.
able to be so adaptable that I can be in any situation and nobody's gonna find out.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I like it. I think it's a superpower we all would like to have. Yeah, cool. And now this is what you do, right? No,
Don't tell anyone.
we're here. People is laughing, okay, but it's true. Okay, so we're there, and now we move on. You as a person that goes to. I know that you went to university and studied mathematics. Okay, in a very simple way, like in your home country. No, you did not.
No. So I graduated from literature high school in Italy. And then I decided to move to Switzerland. So I moved to Geneva, which is a French-speaking country, like part of Switzerland.
Why did you move there from Milan?
I absolutely wanted to study in French because when I was 11, my mother told me I was conceived in Paris. And since then, I'm like, I am so Parisian.
Parisienne.
Parisienne.
Okay.
So I started studying French as it's my first language. Like I need to be the most proficient in this language. It's actually like I speak much better French than English for sure.
Okay.
I studied for so many years. So my objective was like, okay, I need to go in a French-speaking country to improve my language skills. And I chose Geneva because at the time, I'm so passionate about skiing, and I wanted to be in a place where I could easily go skiing. So that was a kind of an easy choice. And then Geneva opened so many doors. It's such an international city. It was breathing for the first time. It was like going from a very Italian situation to the world, the whole world in one single place. This opened me so many doors and opened my eyes.
And when you moved to a foreign country, were you scared, or did you at some point think that the decision that you took to move there? Because I think it's never easy. I mean, even myself, when I wanted to live abroad, I lived in Mexico City. First days I was there, I was questioning myself if I did the right choice or not. I was missing my family. And you were there studying mathematics, that to me is like crazy, in French. So is there a moment in which you felt maybe it was not the right decision, or you should have taken another detour?
Indeed, like you question yourself a lot. The biggest discovery of moving abroad is that you actually take all your problems with you. This was like, okay, I'm going away from all my problems, and ta-da, they're coming with you, like in your nice suitcase, So at one point, I literally had to face all of those. And then after maybe 1.5 years, I started regretting my decision. I was really scared that I wasn't be able to get my degree. So I was like, okay, girl, like here you have two choices. It's either you live this choice and you go back, or you work hard and you get it. So I literally rolled my sleeves and I was in competition mood. Like nothing will stop me from getting my degree.
Okay, that's very brave from you to tell this. I didn't know this, because anytime I saw you, and this happens to me as well, people from outside tend to see in a person that is very self-aware, because you're very self-aware, to think that they kind of stay in a room, think the right decision come, they take the decision, and then everything is smooth. On the contrary, it's not like that. I mean, you ponderate, you think, you evaluate pros and cons, you evaluate a lot, I think, your emotions as well. But on the other hand, when you take a decision, the path to leave that decision fully is nothing but linear again. So it's a lot of, one step in front, two step back, three step in front again. So that's very brave from you. And I didn't know that. Now, I really don't know how to start talking about detours, because to me, like, there's a lot of detours in different aspects of your life, like opening all the windows in your computer. But I would start like with this. So after university, which at the end you finished, okay, what's the greatest detour that you took? And looking back now, you say, I'm very proud of me because that maybe was not a decision I thought I was able to take, a path that I was able to walk on. And, but yeah, I did it. And to me now, it looked like ages ago, but it really shaped the person that I am today.
I think so. During university, I had the honor of studying abroad, and I chose Argentina as a destination. So I went for 1 year to live in Argentina. And to be fair, I finally understood that people like me exist.
Okay.
So it was like finding myself, but like mirrored in a complete different culture from mine. I was like very, before, I was living Italian life, Swiss life, very structured, and I need to comply to all these rules. And then suddenly I moved to a country that is so beautifully spontaneous.
Okay.
And that has so much value in the things that I believe in and less value in the things that I don't believe in. So it was the really first time that I met a culture that is mirroring myself.
Yourself. Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
So it was really fascinating in the sense that my parents at that time, they completely, I don't know, they still say it was the worst decision of my life.
Okay.
Because I lost it and because, but to me, it was like the biggest detour that actually allowed me to find my crew, myself. Like, I was like, okay, so I can be that. I can be the person who I am.
And you can be more than that as well.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of bad decision, I mean, we're good at it if we're not living in the shoes of the people. In my case, it was when I resigned from a corporate. Like, my mother was a little bit worried about that, but then after 1 year that I took that decision, she was not. I think that sometimes people speak from a position of love, but on the other hand, we really have to listen to ourselves, because even though the intention is the greatest, like to protect you and to make you have the greatest choices possible, sometimes we're missing an opportunity. And I think that more than a opportunity like professional, when you find a place or a person or a situation that allows you to express parts of you that you were not able to express before, it's kind of finding an El Dorado or something like that, because it's not something that you find and it's there. It lasts, okay?
Yeah.
And this happened also with mirroring lighting people. So what's the greatest lesson you learned from your 1 year in Argentina?
Like, you can be as much free as you want. The spontaneity. There was no fixed plan. Like, you can be like water, you can be like air. And this is who I am. And this is who I am. And it helped me so much to live in a situation in a country where people actually live like this. Okay. There's no fixed times. I remember, like, one of very important scenes when I arrived, I took a bus from Cordoba, where I was living, to Buenos Aires. I was like, okay, what time are we arriving? Because I need to know when we get there. And I remember
coming from Switzerland makes sense.
Like, where the life is scheduled by the minute in Switzerland, And then he said something like, we will arriving between 7 and 9 a.m. I'm like, what? Like, for me, it was out of my mind that we could have like a span of 2 hours.
Crazy.
And that moment, I still remember it. It was so freeing for me. My life was literally scheduled by the minute. Like, I used to know in advance what I was doing on Thursday at 8:13 p.m.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I'm in the country of freedom. So this is my biggest learning. And this is like, today I need to be so structured on my professional life. That's why on my personal life, I like to
be structured. No, but on the
be unpredictable.
Be unpredictable. But this is like, Eileen Gu would call it neuroplasticity.
Yes.
So the fact that you can be on time and structure in context, which are not just professional, I would say, but in context you want to be, and in others just let go with the flow. It's like an adaptability that frees you, because I've been a workaholic myself, and when you schedule every single moment of your life, you don't allow the space for even a moment of awareness that emerges in you. So people, this is like in meditation, no? People sometimes address meditation with a purpose. So yes, it gets me calmer, and maybe I can get clarity about this. But in many cases, it's just staying there in contact with yourself and let something emerge, maybe something
Yes.
you have not understood. So being able to switch in between two different operating systems is like a plus today. Now, I don't know if we want to move to art and to Africa or to ski, because myself, to me, I'm a little bit confused. But when you come back from Argentina, then it was the time in which ski was already in your life, or not, as much as I know, or was Africa the main topic? What would you want to talk about?
Skiing has always been a big part of my life since I'm a little child. Since I'm 4, I'm like, I want to be a ski teacher. I became a ski teacher when I was 17, and I've always been ski teaching since then.
Okay.
Then, when I came back from Argentina, I didn't want to work in mathematics anymore. I realized how beautiful it is, but not compatible with who I am. So I decided to work in arts. I've been working in arts for like 2-3 years. First in an artist studio, then in an art gallery. And this experience like helped me so much to break barriers.
What was okay?
I met so many artists that were thinking completely out of the box, and you have no rules in arts, So
do you think you would accept this job in arts if you wouldn't have gone to Argentina?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I met the guy who hired me in Argentina.
Okay, fantastic. So even on a logical perspective. Okay.
A guy from Milan, but I met him there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What was your job there? What was your...
My job at the time was the point of contact between the art gallery and the artists. So the art is like full of ideas. I want to make this, I want to make that. And you are the kind of the merchandiser. You're like, yeah, amazing, but we need to sell this kind of product.
Okay.
So you're rationalizing this artistic spirit and then bringing all the artworks so that the gallery can actually sell them.
Okay.
So it was beautiful. I love that job. I love it.
You were traveling a lot.
A lot. I was traveling the whole time. So this was like kind of like the difference between my old life. My old life was a lot of studying, spending 7-8 hours on one theorem that I need to prove. And then suddenly I'm working in a completely different field where I'm jumping from Venice to London to Palermo to New York, like all the time traveling. This was what I liked, but it was a bit empty at one point for me. It was a lot of people, but I wasn't creating much value. I needed something more meaningful.
Okay.
So I had kind of like a 1-2 year sabbatical where I fully dedicated to ski.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I went full on skiing. I was like, okay, now is my time to get serious. I joined the Italian ski team. I had a magnificent season.
Joined the Italian ski team. Who doesn't? I mean, yeah, go ahead.
The World Cup in speed skiing.
Yeah, I wanted to tell us your record. So
my record is 167 kilometers per hour.
I don't even drive that fast in highway myself. Okay.
Time to upgrade your car, maybe.
Okay. Can I pause back for a second? So from studying mathematics to public relation in arts, let's say. Then you said, okay, it was a time for me for a sabbatical. Out there are a lot of people that are so attached to toxic situations, such as jobs. And, I was one of those, okay, by the way. And it always happened. It can always happen because, we have to work on ourselves. And sometimes we get attached to situations, even though they're toxic, because they're comfort zones. Now, for you to step back from a prestigious job, because it was a prestigious one.
Very prestigious.
Very prestigious.
At very early age.
Exactly. So even more. And this doesn't deal with money. That for sure we're in the picture, but sometimes, money is a part of the, let's say, of the painting. Okay. It's not just the only one.
Not at the very beginning of your career.
Yeah, but for say an average person today in Italy, or I don't know, like what you did, out of any scheme and everything. So how did you find, I mean, how did it come to you, this idea? So I want to ask this question for people that maybe don't allow themselves to dedicate a certain amount of time, whether it's a month, 3 months, 1 year, to recenter themselves and find the next opportunity when they understand that that situation is no longer for them. And I know that this can attract some complaining, saying, hey, but you don't have, look, talking about me, you don't have a family, you don't need like to pay for the foods for your kids, da da da. But we all know that this is bullshit. Okay, when you are unhappy, all the people around you, okay, are impacted by this, and even your finances. And it's not me saying this, it's Tony Robbins, Dan Martell, all the multi-millionaire that are out there. And so how you came to that decision?
Recently, a friend of mine, he told me, you're the only responsible of your own happiness.
Okay.
Such a simple sentence, and still it's so hard to put it in practice sometimes, you know. But at the time, I just wanted to ski. I just wanted to do what makes me happy. I didn't stand those situations where I wasn't free. I think freedom has always been the main pillar of my choices. Okay. And I remember very clearly once they asked me for a long weekend, I had planned to go skiing, and they asked me to stay in the gallery. I was like, okay, why? And they promised something that they didn't didn't keep the promise. So the Monday I left the job.
Okay.
I was like, I will not sacrifice something so important for a promise that is not even kept.
And considering what came after this, I think that the mantra of doing something that you love, it's not really romantic. It's really about building your own future, career, success, and happiness. Yeah. Because I know what followed from there. So probably an experience where you said you were looking for a more meaningful experience, and probably what followed was that. And so sometimes you need to see just for the 20 meters in front of your car and lighten it by the lights of your car in the dark, even to go on a 600-kilometer trip. And for you, that 20 meters where I want to go ski, and this is going to recenter me, and then I'm going to find my next chapter.
The thing is that when you follow your passion, it's never going to be a wrong decision at the end of the days.
Yeah.
Because you can live with the regret of not doing it. Can you? I don't think I could.
Yeah, I know. And what do you think people...
I think people have a lot of fears.
To fail?
So, like, it can be so many different things. To fail, fear of judgment, fear of rejection.
And fear to succeed sometimes. So what if it really happens? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'd love it to happen.
I know. Okay, so after that, after this 2 years of skiing, where do we
So
land?
on the ski slopes, I met a guy who offered me to work in his accelerator.
Okay.
And
what's an accelerator?
Yeah, well, that's the very important point, because I thought it was a CERN. Like, I thought it was a particle accelerator.
Because you were, you studied in Geneva, so you thought it was about particles.
This guy has a private accelerator. Like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Sorry, we're gonna be.
And he hired you, by the way.
Yeah, and he hired me. So he had just launched a startup accelerator.
Okay.
Nothing to do with the particles then. So empowering entrepreneurs, investing in entrepreneurs, and I started working for him. We were a small team, and it was very cool. We had the whole acceleration part, so we would help startups with the legal, with the everything that could help them, strategy. Like, we had a lot of partners, so I was managing that part, and then we were making a TV show.
Okay.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Okay.
So it was like my dream job. I could have done this for such a long time. And then after a couple of years, I was like, okay, this is nice, but too Italian.
Okay.
I was missing my international part.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks to them, I was introduced to a similar accelerator based in Switzerland, based in Geneva. So Geneva is coming back. It's funny how in life so many things are circling back,
Yeah.
Based in Geneva, but operating in the emerging markets.
Okay.
And
so Africa.
Africa.
Okay. You're already smiling.
Of course I am.
So tell us about this big detour, because you went to live there.
I was living there. So the very first country where they sent me was Ivory Coast, which is a country in West Africa, French speaking. So literally the call was like, hey, do you speak French? Yes.
Okay.
When can you leave? I was like, on Friday? Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So I literally packed all my life in one suitcase and I went to a country. I didn't know anything about this country.
Okay.
And it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. I was based there for like more or less half a year.
Okay.
I was running a local program of it was an incubation program. So we were helping small entrepreneurs to launch their businesses. It was so the meaning I was looking for, I finally found it there, working with entrepreneurs. And these people, like, they really actually needed us to launch their company, to operating it. They were asking so many questions. Like, we would help them as much as we could. It was amazing. And like every day I would wake up, and Africa is tough. Huh? Every day you wake up, it's a slap in your face. You realize how, like, for just luck, you're born in the right side of the world. But it's so meaningful as well, being able to help all of these people.
Like Pascal, a very famous philosopher, said, I don't know why I'm being placed here in this very specific place compared to the rest of the world. And I don't know why this small amount of time I've been given to live is assigned to me in this very specific moment of the eternity. The eternity that is gonna be after me, and the eternity that just passed before me. So yeah, it's really, you know, self-aware. It's really become again self-aware, okay, of the person you are and you want to become, because context matter, but you can always take a choice and shape it differently. What like hits me when you in a positive way when you tell the story is that you wanted something that was a more meaningful experience, okay? Instead, I think that sometimes people, for the fears that you mentioned before, and it happened to me as well, are just looking another experience to survive, a similar one to what they have, but maybe just slightly better. There's never a quest for something, because people, you know, have fear that what they're doing is not linear. They're going to be judged, they're going to fail, they're going to be rejected. And also because here in Italy, we have this negative perception of selling yourself, when instead selling yourself,
it's true.
Just
why is it so negative?
In fact, selling yourself means that you are placing yourself in a context where your skills can create value. And instead, I don't know why, but in Italy, we do have this negative part. If you're selling me something, there's some kind of fraud in between.
Yeah, that's true.
In fact, that's what I remember my grandmother, when somebody's ringing on, you know, the bell to sell. I don't need anything, okay? Don't try to sell us anything. So even the person, it did not start to talk. Okay, so Africa, what are, I think, because there are more than one, greatest lessons that you got from there and make you the person that you are today? Now you are back in Geneva. You work again with private equity, and you also work again with entrepreneurs, etc., especially female ones. So again, you're back to Geneva. You're back again to kind of a mathematics, let me say, but not just that.
Rational
empowerment. So what is the thing that built? What is that thing or things that you built during that experience that make you today the Didi of today?
I think my biggest learning from Africa is this incredible sense of community. Okay. I think we're born and raised in this continent as we are in a competition with everyone. And it's a lot of it comes from our school system, that you are only graded for what you do as an individual and you're competing with the rest. While there, the good of the community is actually more important than your own good. So you win when the community wins. Okay. And there is such a strong sense of sharing, like, for example, food.
Okay.
You know, food is not, oh, I have food, you don't have food. Like, if I have food and you don't have it, we're going to share. I'm going to share with you. And this is such a, like, it was so hard to eradicate my mindset that was coming from years of like wiring, and also, you know, I've been through, like, I was an athlete and I was competing with my own speed, and like there was a lot of like me against me in this world. And suddenly I'm in a place where we're all here for a common good and we're all here to help each other. It's, hello, this is revolutionary.
Well, there's much of this in what you do today for female entrepreneurs.
I try, of course.
Yeah. But this is what really surprised me when I met you the first time. We met at an event, by the way, in Switzerland. So just to be consistent, the fact that you were so sharing anything with me without basically even knowing me. So that really, you know, I was surprised because, you know, you didn't know me. I think that we learn in our life to recognize when somebody, you know, has maybe the same mindset or same values, because
sure,
we're not in our 20s anymore. I mean, you're younger than me, but we're not in our 20s anymore. But on the other hand, still, when you have that mentality, and especially, you know, based on what's going on in the world today, you tend not to trust people, because I think today in the world there are two separate streams. Like one is that is very, you know, poor in resonates with scarcity mindset, etc., and the other one that is really aware, that works on, you know, people that work on themselves, that have a deep spiritual part. But they're really two opposite forces. And so,
but even in those, both of those forces, like not a lot of people are willing to collaborate, and actually the society is a common collaboration, and we tend to forget that we only win if we all win, you know.
Yeah, but it's very, yeah, this thing of the community, I think it's a lot in what you do today, also apart from your association. But you know, you connected me with a lot of people that made an impact, okay? So in my life, I mean, one of the girl introduces me what is today the guy that I'm dating. So I think that plays a role. Or I've also done business as well, with some accelerator thanks to your introduction. So I don't think honestly that how many people would have shared that with a person. Sorry, okay. What is a decision that you took that you thought it was wrong in the first place, but then when you saw that from in perspective, you said, "Thank God, it's the best decision that I could have ever taken."
Oh my God, I don't know.
Think about it.
So many. I mean, if I take a decision, I think is right.
You always have this sense
No,
of rightness.
no, not in the sense of rightness. But I try to take the best decision in that moment with the elements I have, of course.
Okay. So you okay. Oh, that's a gift. No, it's
what about you?
No, I blame myself a lot for the decision that I've taken. I think I'm a master, like blaming.
Well, you know what? Once you told me a super important thing that stayed with me, like,
oh my God,
glued on my skin.
What did I say?
You look at me, I was about to take a very important decision of my life, like new job, new city, new everything. And you look at me and you told me, girl, remember, every decision is reversible except having a kid.
Hi, Alice. I'm fostering maternity experiences in Italy.
It's true. It's true.
I really believe that.
And at the end of the day, it's so calming, because you know that at the end of the day, you are in charge of anything that can happen in your life, and you can actually reverse the decision.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I really believe that. Yeah, I didn't remember I told you this. Yeah, but you know, it's and I'm saying this on a very positive appreciation towards you. Sometimes we are so scared about, you know, not being enough. This is one of the things that, you know, I have in my mind. Sometimes I'm not enough. I need to prepare better. And so sometimes when I take a decision, I sometimes start immediately seeing where it's going wrong. Okay, and then when somebody, let's say, does not really go wrong, but maybe it doesn't go as planned, I tend to say, okay, it's gone wrong. I shouldn't have taken. And then some time pass, okay, and maybe that thing is resolved in a way that, you know, you don't even expect. And so again, this like proves your thesis, mathematically speaking, okay, that if you took a decision when you are centered, when it's really your decision and not pushed by society, parents, and everything, it's the right one. Because everything that occurs, you can again take responsibility of that and just, you know, adjust it or reverse it, except having a kid. Yeah, I confirm. This is my, I want to be mentioned and quoted for this. Okay, so a couple of more questions. Did you have a mentor?
Yes, I had a beautiful mentor. His name was Achille. Unfortunately, he passed away, but we had a beautiful story together, and he guided on so many levels. He was the very first one offering me a job. He was the very first one believing in me. He was believing in me more and before I would believe in myself.
Okay.
And every single idea I had, like a small seed, it would create a flower.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, amazing. I remember once I was like, I need to go to Iran. I want to visit Iran. I need to go to Iran. And he literally organized a dinner in Milan with like the Iran ambassador and all his Irani friends to make it like blossoming, you know? And it's such a beautiful, like, if I think the person who I want to be when I grow up is, I want to be this kind of person, being able to spot the seeds here and there and make them flowers before people even realize.
Cool. And if you have a phrase to describe the moment of life you are right now, okay, what would it be? Even without giving too much details, but
I decided that the phrase of my year, it's no regrets.
No regrets. You just got back from a very interesting trip to, can we say that?
Yeah, of course.
To Dahab?
Yeah, I was in Egypt, in Sinai, in a small town called Dahab.
Where you literally slept on the floor in camps, in kite surf camp. Okay.
Yeah. I needed a break.
Okay.
And I went to the land of the magic, you know, like Sinai is a super spiritual and historically important place. It's where Moses received the 10 Commandments. There's a beautiful monastery in the middle of the mountains. These mountains are sacred. Like you can feel the energy. There are so many minerals, etc. And then it's surrounded by the Red Sea. So the sea is beautiful. There's so much wildlife. You can scuba dive, free dive, kite surf. So it's a place that always calls me back. And it is populated by Bedouins. So a population like the Bedouins that are present there are Egyptians. But Bedouins, you can learn so many things from them.
Like what? Tell us. I've never been with Bedouins.
Bedouins, they have no home. They travel. They move. So it doesn't matter where they sleep.
Okay.
They just have like a blanket, and when they're tired, they sleep.
Okay.
They move around. They wait. They wait for the things to happen, and when there's action, they're ready.
Okay.
You know?
So it's between staying and being very dynamic. So again,
yeah, and it's very like they're very present mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is something that we don't do.
No, we plan so much and we're so much ahead of our moment, you know? Like we're already thinking, like me and you, we're recording this, we're already thinking, but
yes,
we probably must go because
in 10 minutes we have to go because we have a boat to catch. A real story, true story. Yes. No, it's right. Okay.
You know, so they wait, they respect for nature, they live out of nature.
Okay.
And they know so much of it. And we are so far in our world, you know?
So you said that your keywords for this year is no regrets.
Yes, no regrets.
So this is like the greatest lessons that you've learned so far this year. We're in the middle of the year. More or less.
I think I imposed myself. Like at January, I was like, girl, this year is going to be a no regrets year.
Okay.
And this is going to drive your year decisions. Like I don't want to find myself in a situation where I don't want to be.
Okay.
I don't want to be stuck somewhere or like something limiting me. So no regrets. It means I need to be transparent with myself and the people around me, and everything will align. And so far, it has been aligning.
Good. I have a last question that it's like probably I've never asked this question to any of my speaker, but I wanted to ask it to you. So I believe in a linearity, and having met you in my life has even more empowered myself to believe in this idea, because I was considering myself a linear, but then meeting you was like it was the basic version. And I have to quote the story when I introduced you to my parents, and you told them all the story. My mother, that actually was thinking about the headache that I used to give to them for me going to Mexico, working on cruise ships, etc., look at my father and said, oh gosh, okay, Alice is calmer. And so using that word to me made me laugh a lot. So I do believe that there is a meaning in the linear path of everybody. That is what drives your decision and what makes you unique as a human. So if you could trace a fil rouge, okay, to quote it in French, throughout all the experience, what would it be? The freedom to be your most authentic self?
It's just very simple. It's Bianca. It's like taking decision as who I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what you're gonna write on in the cemetery? What's the phrase that you want to have on your stone there?
Oh my God, that's such a tough question. I never
Oh,
think
mine is
about
so
my.
easy. I'm gonna write, I had fun.
That's
Yes.
a cool one.
Yeah, you can steal it if you want.
I think I'm gonna write something. You mentioned Pascal.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna write something like that. In between the infinite biggest universe and in the infinite inside us. Something.
Okay. Okay.
Something like unique.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say that we didn't speak about? A message to your future self, a message to people
to our
listening?
audience.
Yes.
There is something I want to say.
Okay.
I'm so.
Don't let me cry. No, it's not forbidden.
Too much makeup?
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to have you in my life. And this linearity mission is so important because people feel so wrong while their journey, they're so beautiful. And you are highlighting this in such a elegant and beautiful way. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much. Well, I've been feeling like very wrong for some part of my life. And yeah, sometimes it still happens. But I think that the more you surround yourself with people brave like you, as a community, okay, the less alone you feel and the less wrong you feel. So we came at the end of this incredible interview, and we are going to have to catch this boat. And so I'm going to say bye-bye by Alice Farella Monti and
Bianca Bonetti.
cheers.
Cheers.